Many years ago, Toby and Tara lived in the city of Goza. They were married and committed to each other in love. They were always very happy whenever they came back from work as they spent their evenings together. Their marriage relationship was exemplary to those that knew them. Toby was a high-flying professional in the computer world, and he loved his work. Tara was a banker. They rejoiced with and for each other each time they got a promotion or one bonus or another. Toby's parents lived in the same city of Goza with them, and so they visited them regularly. Tara's parents were living in another city. They visited them too, but only as much as their jobs would allow. Occasionally, during their planned annual leave, they have gone to spend a whole week with Tara's parents. One day, Toby got an email that he had been promoted to the highest management cadre in his establishment. With the package also is a 6-month training in the United States of America. It could be extended to a year depending on a number of factors. They had just 2 months to prepare. Since he would be away for at least 6 months and Tara would be all alone in their house, they both agreed that it was better for Tara to move in with Toby's parents since his 2 sisters were there. Also, his grandmother would move in with his parents in 2 weeks. The house, therefore, would be full enough for her not to miss him too much. It all worked out as planned, and Toby was ready to leave for the US. The night before his trip, Tara organized a family party for him and a few friends were invited. His office also organized a mini party for him in the office 2 days earlier. On the set day, his parents with Tara took him to the airport and bade him farewell. Tara had crying parties in her room for 2 days. Gradually, with the help of his in-laws, she began to cheer up. As shadowed, Grandma came. She had health challenges and needed a lot of care. Tara was just a wonderful lady with a very good heart. She became Grandma's friend almost immediately. She cared a lot for her. Within a few weeks, Tara became sick. Her doctor recommended bed rest. She had extreme stress. She took a few days off work and went back to work again. One day, she fainted in the hallway of the bank. She was rushed to the hospital, and that is so abnormal. The doctor couldn't diagnose what the matter was. However, he recommended more bed rest. Later, she had to have a fibroid surgery. Another rest. Her bosses were very kind to her and let her take times off to see her doctor or have some bed rest. While at that, she began to cook quite some, especially because of the grandma. She knew to fix different types of dishes for her, and Tara particularly loved to keep her happy. And grandma would ask, "Tara, Tara, come and eat with me." Tara just began to eat and eat. She began to cook very tasty meals for the family. They all loved it. She was just wonderful, and they all loved all she was doing and all she was cooking. Often on her way from work, Tara would say, "What do I pick for the house? Let me get to the shop. I must see what to pick up for grandma and for the house." She talked with her husband Toby often and daily when possible. He was very busy with the trainings, understandably. One thing has changed though. She keeps gaining weight. She has developed a good appetite for more and more food, junk included. Grandma would make her eat with her many times in a day if she is home. Tara's weight kept increasing. She would do a video of herself about thrice a week to send to Toby. Toby's training program was extended. It would now last 1 whole year. Sara decided to go take some cooking lessons since she was becoming very fond of cooking and she found happiness doing it. And the more she cooked and fed the house, the more she ate. And her low metabolism body system didn't help matters. Her weight blew up. In a few more months, Toby would be back. Toby's promotion this time was mind-blowing. He did so well at the training and the tests afterwards that he was immediately promoted to a regional manager. The package came with many perks, from a big furnished house to a chauffeur-driven brand new Jeep and yearly sponsors vacation with his spouse to any part of the world of their choice. Finally, Toby came back to Nigeria, but he didn't come home. That was simply out of character with him. Anyway, Sara waited a few more days. Nothing. Toby didn't call her. He didn't answer her calls. He didn't come home. After a few more days, Sara started feeling uncomfortable. Toby finally called. His parents knew where he was, but didn't tell Sara. On the phone, Toby said, "I am holding series of meetings with the regional support staff who came from different states at the hotel. The people are the men and women I have to work with, so it's important I let them know what is expected of them. However, you must have heard that I am at Sigma Hotel." She dressed up and went there the very next day. She got to his room and waiting to jump into his arms again. She said to herself, "Oh my Toby, I can't wait to see you, to fall into your hands again, to just be with you, Toby, to touch your handsome face again, to be carried by your loving, strong arms again." But no, she heard her husband talking happily with a young lady. She didn't want any confrontation, so she ran into the wardrobe with jealousy doors and closed the doors. She wept as she watched the horrors. When they left, she came out and tried to calm herself down. Then she called the lady who was her husband's junior colleague. They sat at the table in a corner at the reception of the hotel to talk. She wept as she begged Bola, "I am ready to forgive everything you have done with my husband, but please leave him alone. Leave him for me. We are married. I love my husband. I have waited the whole year for him. I love him with all my heart, all my life. Please break up with my husband, Toby. Please break up with him, please." Bola was calm. When Sara was done talking, Bola asked gently, "Are you aware that Toby is now the regional manager of our company?" Sara said yes. Bola continued, "When I started dating him, I was pitying you because he told me he was married to you. But now that I have seen you, I pity him. Do you know he needs to make appearances with his wife? With his change of status, do you think you still fit him? Do you look at yourself in the mirror?" This was crushing to Sara. She tried to talk, but her lips were quivering. Bola got up to leave. Sara ran after her and pulled her down, and Bola was on high heels. It was a dangerous fall that an ambulance was called to rush her to the hospital. Police immediately came to arrest Sara. Toby got to here and got to the scene. He intervened and they didn't handcuff her. He told them, "Leave her, she's my wife. I stand shorty for her. and would produce her anytime should the case get to court, but I can assure you, the matter ends here today. Sara was so grateful, so grateful to Toby for this timely intervention. They strolled out to a sit-out at a corner at the hotel. Sara said, "Sweetheart, thank you for the timely intervention. I would have been dragged to police station today." Toby coldly responded, "It is my very last time of protecting you as my wife, and I mean the very last time. It is over with us." He pulled off his wedding ring and put in Sara's palm and got up to leave. Sara shook. "But sweetheart, we are married. Don't you remember?" Toby said, "I don't want the marriage anymore. I want love. I want the excitement love gives. Goodbye." And he walked off. Sara was crushed, turned to pieces. She dragged herself home. She told her mother-in-law, who already knew about the affair her son was having. She gave him full support. Toby's mom told her daughters, "Oh sure, I prefer Bola. She's chic and one I would prefer to hang out with. I already imagined going out shopping with her. But Sara, no, she's too sloppy, too fat, and doesn't know how to take care of herself. She falls at the slightest thing. Yes, I heard that excess weight makes you lose balance too soon. I just don't know why she left herself to grow this fat." Sara asked her younger sister-in-law, "You seem to know the Bola too?" The girl said, "Oh yeah, she was my classmate back then." They were all blunt as they poured their approval of the absurd and condemnation of her inability to keep her shape and herself chic. It hurt Sara deeply that the very family she had served with all her heart of love is up against her because she gained excess weight. She contemplated suicide. One Friday morning, she left for work and didn't come back. She drove her car into the sea, but fortunately she didn't die. She crawled out as rescuers were around at the point she took the plunge. She had minor injuries and directed she be taken to another part of town where she was unknown. At the hospital, she began to speak to herself. "My Toby left me because of the temporary weight I gained. I gained this weight because I kept eating more and more. Out of my love for him and his family, I served and served with all my heart. At the same time, I ate and ate to please Grandma. Being fat is reversible. I want to repackage." Meanwhile, the papers carried that I died inside the waters. His family rejoiced that I had gone so that their Toby could marry the woman called Bola with a good conscience, and they would then have the shapely Bola in their family in peace. Toby didn't even cry. I don't mean anything to him because of my weight. I no longer look presentable to him, and with his new status, he cannot flag me around. Okay, repackaging is the goal, and I will launch back. There's something called revenge. I will revenge with success. She contacted a weight specialist, and the man assured her, saying, "I would help you repackage. In 3 months, you will be a totally new person. You could pick a new name since you are going back to Goza City a completely different person." In just 3 months, Sara had an almost perfect shape. Anywhere she appeared, people stopped to admire or touch her if they could. Her weight loss coach became her confidant. One day, the company Toby worked with had an event, a well-attended event by all the who is who in town and places beyond. They were raising funds for charity, and Tara, now called Sara, walked in. Everything stopped. Every head turned, including Toby's head. She sent a note to the MC, Bola, to announce that she was donating 100 million naira. Just before her donation came in, Bola announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, so far we have received 35 million naira donated by different people in the hall." All eyes on Sara again when they knew she was the donor of 100 million naira. Toby gravitated towards her, hardly removing his eyes from her, and Bola noticed. Her wedding with Toby is in 3 weeks. But who is this Sara? Toby couldn't take his eyes off her. He walked up to her to thank her for the donation and also get her contact. Next, he started scheming how to get private moments with her. One day, guided by her weight loss coach, Sara allowed for them to meet at an eatery. Bola called Toby. "I am already there." Toby asked, "Where?" Bola said, "To try out my wedding gown, sweetie." Toby said, "Okay, give me 1.5 hours, please." Toby held his appointment with Sara and was too awed to talk much and just kept staring at her. Soon, Sara said, "I have a business appointment," and she left. Toby went late to Bola. She saw Bola in her wedding gown and mouthed, "You are beautiful." Bola asked, "What about the 3-word sentence?" Toby said, "Which one?" Bola said, "The sentence is, 'I love you.' Why don't you tell me that often?" Toby said, "Because you know I do." Meanwhile, having found out that Sara was single, he was thinking of how to wriggle out of this wedding with Bola and either flirt some with Sara or marry her if she would accept him. Toby's main turmoil has just started. It was a weekend and Toby was in a dilemma. He wanted Sara by all means, and Sara was playing hard to get. All the while, her weight loss doctor kept up with her on what to do each time. One day, Bola was calling Toby, but he refused to pick. He refused to answer, quite unlike him. Then he called her later and said he was with a client. Toby was with Sara at a restaurant. She was about to drive past the location, but decided to stop. There was Toby and Sara. Bola was restless. She said, "Do I approach them and embarrass them? What if they are talking business for real, since she was our highest donor at our last event?" Against her good judgments, Bola walked up to them. Sara immediately stood up, saying that she had another appointment. Toby didn't take that kindly at all. He seized the opportunity to shout at Bola, saying, "What? Are you stalking me or what? Why would you walk in on us uninvited? Did I not tell you that I had a business meeting? You are so rude. Okay, you can see we didn't even finish. That wedding has to be put on hold. I cannot be losing businesses because of mere wedding." Toby walked off. The next day, he called Bola and said, "Sorry, but I have to completely call off this wedding. It is affecting my position and ability to bring in businesses to the company. Sorry." He dropped the call before Bola could say anything. Sara agreed to a meeting again. This time around, he wanted to take her to his parents to introduce her to them. She played along. Toby's mom was oohing and eyeing. She had never seen such a goddess-like figure in any human being. They felt honored to host her. Of course, in talking about his past life, he mentioned My first wife died on the sea. She drove her car into the sea. Sara asked, was it intentional or an accident? Toby said, I don't really know, and nobody seems to know. Anyway, she was such a pain on my neck. She was sloppy and too fat for anyone's liking. With her, I didn't know what love really was. I meet women and date them, but Sara, you are different. I love you. With my whole heart, I do. Sara was smiling nicely as she listened to the unfaithful man she loved deeply and married. She said in her mind, behold the wicked man I was ready to sacrifice my life for, the man whose family I served for 1 year and got very fat in the process. Here he is again, overwhelmed by my looks. Toby also said, you recall I was getting ready to marry Bola. I have called it off with her. She is rude and creates bad business for me. Toby said, yes, I love you, Sara. I love you. I feel so madly in love with you. I could do just about anything for you if you would let me. And if you would consider marrying me, not today, but we could be friends till you are ready for me, please. Sara said, Toby, don't you consider yourself rude to be talking dating and marriage to me when we hardly know each other? Toby said, I am so crazy in love with you that it seems I have known you all my life. At this point, her weight loss doctor, who has been in town for a few days, called and she put her phone on speaker. He said, my goddess, where are you? She said, at KCF restaurant with Toby. Toby was too shocked to move or think straight. Coach brought a cake and dropped on the table. He had secretly told some of the restaurant staff to be on standby the moment he walks in. He asked Sara to cut the cake to celebrate a great week. She graciously stood and did, and she hit a metal object. Hotel staff shouted, bring it out, bring it out. She did, and it was a beautiful diamond ring. He went on his knee as he collected the ring and slipped into the finger of the smiling goddess, Sara, while Toby was clutching the table and biting his lower lip. He quietly sneaked out. Who wants to date a man who is moved by what he sees? A man who makes permanent wrong decisions on temporary issues? What have you learned from this story? Do you think there's any good reason to give up on life? Why would a spouse call it quits with his or her wife or husband as a result of fat or no fat? Your body could be reshaped to what you decide is good for you anytime. What we see is temporary. It is subject to change. Please share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Also, please encourage us to roll out more African real life stories by giving this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already subscribed. Yes, please remember to click the bell icon so you would be the first to know when we upload another very interesting story video. And please share our stories with your friends and family. Till our next video, remain amazing. Goodbye.